Joining me tonight, former Air Chief Marshal Fali Homi Major tonight, and he was the Indian Air Force Chief at the time when the 26/11 attacks took place. Fali Homi Major, I want to ask you, Chief, Tahawwur Rana landing in India, in Indian custody today, what does this mean in terms of a breakthrough in the investigations and taking forward the attack of 26/11 and the retribution that the country has been expecting following that terror attack?
It's fantastic news that the government today has finally got this guy through the extradition from the United States, and I'm quite sure that a lot of unknown aspects of the drastic 26/11 attack will come out once he's put through the interrogation. And I'm quite sure that he's going to sing along very well for us to know what happened. But I'm disappointed about one thing, that it's a little too late. Because if we had hit those guys then, probably this guy would have been history by now.
Well said. Chief, you had said this earlier as well, that you were ready, the Indian Air Force was ready, and the strike should have happened at that time. Can you take our viewers through what was the situation? Did you make a presentation to the then political leadership, and what was their response?
Navika, whenever a situation arises in a country, whether it be a terrorist strike like the one on 26/11, or there is a natural disaster or something, the moment the Air Force comes to know about it, without any instructions from anyone, preparations are started, and consultations in the operations directorate take place to determine what likely actions we would be given to undertake if the government decided to go ahead. And it was soon after this attack that our preparations had started, that this is a terrible, terrible attack. We've lost, I think, almost about 170 people. And I'm sure that the government would ask us to take some kind of action. At that stage, we didn't know whether it would be the Air Force, Army, or whoever. But we were quite sure, and as Air Force men, we prepared our own alternatives. And then... now coming to your question, yes, I think it was the third or fourth day after the attack that we were called into the Prime Minister's office, the three chiefs, and of course many others who were related, who were involved in this. And we were asked as to what kind of options we have to launch a retaliatory strike, a precision strike. And we gave out our options. The Air Force gave out our options, gave the options out, and said that we will be ready to undertake the strike if asked in the next 18 to 24 hours. That's it. Now, my mandate as the chief then was to give all options possible to the government, and it was left to them to decide which one to accept or not accept.
Chief, at that time, who all were present in the room? You said it was the Prime Minister's office. The three chiefs of the armed forces were present. The Defense Minister, the Home Minister, the National Security Advisor, I think M.K. Narayanan at that time. Other than these, were there other people in the meeting as well?
Navika, I don't recollect who, but what you said is correct. The NSA was there. The Defense Minister, I don't know if the Home Minister was there. I don't recollect. And of course, some staff from the PMO who were, involved in these kind of things. Yes, that was the composition of that meeting.
What were you told when you offered that within 18 to 24 hours you would be ready? Was there a response from the other side?
No.
Nothing at all?
There was no response. And I mean, in such matters, whenever you put forward an option or a proposal, our mandate ends there. And then it is left to them to let us know. And once this was done, when we went back, we kept those plans active. Actually, we did it very quietly on a totally need-to-know basis, and only the people and forces which were involved would get involved in this operation were informed. But we maintained this readiness for quite a long period.
How long?
I think almost about 10, 15 days.
And there was
Quietly.
no return phone call, there was no return message, no
Nothing.
NSA calling you, no defense minister calling you?
I mean, there were a couple of iterations between the NSA, the chiefs, etc. But that's it. But there was no positive indication given whether to go ahead or not.
Was it the decided view of all the three chiefs that retaliation was the need of the hour?
You see, the Army and Navy time frames were different naturally because I don't know, I may be absolutely wrong, but this is pure speculation. Because the only thing we were asked was, in case there is escalation if we did a thing like this, what was the way ahead? And I said that as far as the Air Force is concerned, whenever a plan like this is formulated and we sit down and plan it, we always factor in the escalation ladder. And we know up to what stage we can go in case it accelerates. I mean, the situation, accelerates more than just the plane strike which was planned. Of course, it was given.
And for 2 weeks, there was no comeback, no discussion on this, because you served till May of 2009. Was this
That's right.
issue ever revisited? Any discussion on this, on retaliation, on retribution, anything that ever came up in any meeting?
No, not at all.
So no interest?
Not that I don't know interest or whatever their thinking process was, but no more discussions happened after that.
Chief, did you find that normal? Did you find that expected response?
Frankly, no, because given the scale of that dastardly attack, I thought some kind of reprisal would take place. That was my thinking.
And the other chiefs, did you, between yourselves, have any conversations?
We had our normal conversations about, the situations which may arise, etc., etc. But that we have on a basis.
Chief, I also want to ask you, Tahawwur Rana extradition, does it actually, is that the end game, or is the end game finding out more about links to Hafiz Saeed and Pakistan directly? And do you think the delay in his extradition will still help us, give us those clues?
Clues, certainly. But what action we can take after that, knowing that these guys are holed up in Pakistan, unless, of course, we take a bold decision, go in there and poop them off. That, of course, is beyond my pay scale to discuss, but that's what it is.
But Fali Homi Major, Chief, the question today is, should we have acted decisively then, or is the present dispensation of a nature that is more in tune for taking decisive decisions? What would be your view on that?
Mine would be a one-word answer, and that is Balakot. Now draw your own conclusions.
All right. A man of few words, Fali Homi Major, always forthright, always somebody who calls a spade, has made his verdict clear. If Balakot could be done, clearly there is more decisiveness now than there was before. Have we lost time? We certainly have. Can we move forward? Well, yes, because end game is Pakistan and Hafiz Saeed. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, Fali Homi Major, former Indian Air Force Chief, and thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight.
Thank you, Navika. Thank you.
So big revelation.